talk real life, she about to air it out. Spotlight, insight, the truth she'll expose. Tune in, sit back, this tea hot, never cold. We here in the Foxy Angel zone. She keeps it real, this the you can't stop me zone. She loves to collaborate, but she can do this on her own. Now let's celebrate and welcome Foxy to the show.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry for the delay. We're going to watch the Flint special board meeting. I'm a little late in getting in the meeting. Most of the beginning was the residents speaking and addressing the board. So now we're going to get into where the board is at this time with the meeting. So here we go.
And she signed the form saying that she was. So I find that mighty funny that she would sit up here and talk about residency. Actually, I find it funny that your colleague, your running mate, your running buddy in the first ward, do he really stay in the first ward? Or do he stay in Mount Morris? Right. Do he stay in Mount Morris Township? It was funny and strange that one of the city garbage bins was found on that street.
Come on, everybody be quiet.
You know, come on now. We sit up here and we talk about others. You clean up your own backyard first.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll now entertain a motion for the consent agenda. Go ahead. There's been a motion from the councilwoman in 7th Ward to approve the consent agenda. Is there support?
Support.
It's been supported by the councilwoman in the 2nd Ward. Is there any separations? Yes. Okay. Are there any others?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would like to separate, of course, 250165. No, I take that back. 250160T. Adoption
Okay.
fiscal year 2026 City of Flint budget.
Okay.
And also 250157.1, user fee, municipal solid waste costs, fiscal year of 2026.
This is how
I
Flint
think that's
conduct
it
their
for
board
me
meetings.
right now.
You're going to hear a lot
Are there any
of
others?
arguing and fussing
Yes.
within this board meeting. Sometimes it gets so personal, you be like, oh my God. So just let's see how they do today.
One was revised. The 250172 is revision. So we need to drop 250155. That's already been separated. Okay.
Through most of the meeting, Dr. Liddell, she do a lot of talking, a lot of arguing, a lot of personal attacks. So
Anything else?
let's see if she does that today.
Anything else? Okay, the consent agenda will consist of two resolutions, 250156.1 and 250165. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett is not in. The vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no. Our first separation is 250155. Yes. It's been moved by the councilwoman in the 7th ward to postpone indefinitely. Is there support?
Support.
It's been supported by the councilwoman in the 2nd ward. This is the roll call vote to postpone 250155-T indefinitely.
And a reminder to council members to please speak into your microphones. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett is not in. Mr. Alamin is not in. Vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no. That is postponed indefinitely. The next resolution is, get it, my pages back in order. 250172, adoption 2526, master fee schedule. Will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I make a motion that we approve.
there's a motion on the floor from the councilwoman in the 7th ward to approve. Is there support?
Support.
It's been supported by the councilwoman in the 2nd ward. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Mr. Pfeiffer.
is there anybody here from the DDA to speak on this?
Master fee schedule,
Oh, I'm sorry.
250172.
Yeah, Mr. Ryder,
Mr. Ryder.
through you, Madam Chair, to Mr. Ryder. Mr. Ryder, can you tell me what services are provided with the
RL,
the
please.
rental license and registration?
This
fee?
video
What
is
service
live
provided
on
with
Flint.
that?
If you want to, you
I
can
know,
go back
the
and look at the previous
inspections is
comments and
totally separate,
everything
but what service is provided
on
with
YouTube
that registration?
and the
Just the
registration.
registration.
The rental license and
the name of
registration
the
fee,
Video
Yeah, it's a
is
registration fee.
so there's no service provided?
official Flint City Council live stream
I mean,
meeting,
that just
May the
allows you
28th, 2025,
to have a rental
SCC,
property
if you want to
in
go
the
back and see
city.
the beginning. I'm sorry
So
that I came in on
the
the end. I
inspection,
was
the
trying to get my
actual
computer set
physical
up to
inspection is
So that
start
does
from
not
the
is
include,
beginning.
gonna
not included in
My
that?
happen
computer didn't boot up
with
in
just a
time for me to catch the
registration.
beginning,
Right.
so we're going through here.
What, do you know how many rental licenses your office has issued? Roundabout number.
How many? In the last, since this ordinance was adopted in
Yes, sir.
20,
Yeah, sure.
about 2,500.
About 2,500.
This is also the
Yes.
location where Advocate Jedediah Brown has been going to
You realize
advocate
it's
in
probably a
regards to their
fraction of
water
the
and
rentals
everything, and with
that
the
are in the
board.
city?
And he's been fighting with the board too,
It's,
because
um,
they
we
have
have-
not been
it's
doing what
very
they're
hard
supposed to do
to,
for their
We have over
constituents
10
in their
to
ward.
12,000.
So he's
rental homes.
fighting with that too. So I'm just giving you an example of what
It's
he's fighting
possible.
against.
I mean, that number changes daily. And
What about
So-
the vacant property registration? Has anyone signed up for that?
oh, yeah. Yeah, the vacant property registration is completely separate.
Yeah,
Um, In that ordinance there, I think specifically speaks of bank foreclosed properties. So
so
that's,
only banks pay that?
pardon?
Only banks really pay that fee?
Correct, because how the ordinance reads, so it doesn't address, it's not a blanket vacant property ordinance, it's just specific to bank foreclosures.
So if a house burns down, they're not applicable to that?
If it was a foreclosed, a bank foreclosed, yeah.
Okay,
So that's continuing.
so the only is because banks have to pay that. That's the only reason for foreclosure, right?
For that particular ordinance, yes.
Okay. Um, Mr. Ryder, I'm proposing to lower the rental license fee to try to get more participation. Because I think that a lower rate would get more participation. If we have 12,000 plus rental homes and you only have 2,500 signed up, that's less than 25%. So, how can we more enforce the rental home license and registration fee?
I'm all ears.
Okay.
I mean, nobody comes forward with,
And
that, hey, I have a
nobody's
rental
checking-
property.
Yeah, nobody's checking if
I
the,
mean, so, what we have done is, so how do you locate, how do you put a number on the rental properties in the city of Flint? So we started in assessments, and we can go from there with who hasn't registered, who hasn't signed up for a tax exemption or homestead. So according to that, we go off of that list right there. We start there. And what do you have to do? You have to send out letters to everybody.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, how are you this evening?
Not bad.
Good. So, how do you don't have anyone to enforce this, right?
To enforce what?
To enforce if it's a rental property.
Well, yes, we are inspectors. If we get, we do the enforcement also.
Right. So I'm saying like to actively look, not like me sending an email to you like I did last week with the complaint, other than me handing it to you.
Correct. I mean, there's a lot of different ways we gather our information.
So, but what I'm saying is, do you have someone who, like community meetings, developing relationships with the members of these, the neighborhood associations, because they know which homes are that are rentals. Also, the police tend to know. Hate to throw, they generally know, because those are generally problems in our communities. They're generally not the homeowners where they're having the drugs, the loud parties. They just aren't. A big problem is, one of them is Gabrielle. Big problem in my ward. And I just don't, I don't even know the effectiveness when I listen to what Councilman Pfeiffer is saying. Because even like the enforcement with some of them, it just takes, they don't care. The people don't care.
Yeah,
What
and
does your
it takes more
enforcement look
people
like?
in our, it would take more people in our office to that's you could have 2 people working 40 hours a week just identifying rental properties. And then what do? How do you enforce that? You write them a ticket, you take them to court, and I mean, that's a long process. And so in the meantime, you got to pay those people also.
So you don't have someone who is just in your office that literally is a full-time job.
Sure.
And because I know that in my ward, that is usually the houses that are drugs, the ones that are problems, they're renters. They don't care about the laws. They'll party all night long. Literally, one lady been 32 for 32 times. And I have went over to her house and she parties and she's like, it's my birthday. Like, you've been 32 times.
Hmm.
So I think that when we look at these homes, and it seems like your office acts really on tips, not a person that is focused that you're enforcing. I think that's what Councilman Pfeiffer was looking at. What is it your office is really doing? What is the service? What is tangible that we can see? Because we have a rental house problem.
Yeah. So every rental home that does comply with the ordinance is a service to this community. So there's your service right there. We do have a person that sends letters out based off the list from assessments that we have. It's a methodical, meticulous, effort to go through a list of 7,000 addresses, verify ownership, get a letter out to the right person.
Is it 7,000?
Well, I mean,
You
what?
get paid more than we do.
Well,
So
I mean, I just was
approximately
at 13,000. So
Wow.
all we can go, so nobody has that number.
Wow.
It changes every
So
day.
you've been here a long time, so has no one
You
ever
get
tried
paid
to
more
get
than
that
I
number?
do.
Yeah,
Wow.
like I said, so what we came up with, if you don't have that house, if you have 5 homes in the city, you can only homestead one of them. So we'll go after the other 4. Maybe those are rentals.
So that's how you do it,
That's-
by duplicate names
That's how,
that are in the
that's how we've
system.
started our
Okay.
process to identify rental properties.
So is this someone who goes after those, though?
Well, we have a person that will send out letters first. It's a
Okay.
courtesy letter. That is because we've been asked to do that. Or you're just
I
gonna get
said
a
what I
late
said.
fee,
We
which
just
is gonna
looking
be
at
even
a
more
live
money. If
view
if
of
you haven't, I
Flint
mean, I don't know how
meeting.
many years a
I
rental
want
ordinance
it
has to be
kind
in
of
place
reminds
before
me of
somebody's gonna
when
comply with it.
Tiffany had her
Right.
So
meetings.
how many
I'm just
courtesy
saying
letters
today
do
if
we
they're going
send
to have
out?
one of those
So after the first
reasonable
courtesy letter,
meetings,
what's
or
the
it's
next
going
We
to
step?
don't
be
send another one. You're gonna
one
go
of
to
those
court.
petty meetings where they're going
You go to court, that's
get
your next.
I mean,
personal
what else
below
are
the
we,
belt at
What's the
each other.
you're just
time
wasting
lapse?
your
So
time.
right now they're trying to do a
Sending out letters
budget. They're
if
trying
nobody's gonna
to
respond.
deal
So if
with
you send
some
a
of
letter, do you
the
give 30 days,
rental
90 days,
property
6
It's a
problems
30-day
and
one.
other
Okay.
problems today.
All right.
So
Thank
I
you. Is
just
there
want to
anyone
thank you.
else?
I said what I said for joining me. And this is just one of the Flint meetings, and this is where
there anyone
Jedediah
else?
is going
Yes, Madam
to
Chair.
fight for the people with the
Um,
water. So we just saying now is
Madam
if
Chair,
they're
for
ever
you
going to address,
to,
the
Mike.
board is going to address the water issues, or
Mike,
they just
I
going to keep
think I
talking
missed
about
it. I don't
everything
know.
else but that. And
So
some of these people
I know
Jedediah
that
have
it
been fighting
must
with
be a
too.
lot of rental
So
homes,
this is where we
not
are. So I feel
registered.
like I want to just go ahead and do a live with
I would
them while
agree.
they are live
What are
to
we
see
doing
what we are
about that?
doing,
We do
see
the best
how
we
they
It,
can.
are
We do
conducting
the
their
best we
meetings and
can.
how much have they
it
Like I
done
seems,
said,
for
nobody's
their
gonna
community
volunteer to
or
come
their
in and say,
city
hey, I got a
of
rental
Flint.
home, I wanna register it. Some people do.
yeah,
Um,
but it has to be a way that we can mandate that people register their rental properties. Now, and I'm just wondering, yeah, but I would agree with Councilman Pfeiffer as far as bringing down that fee.
You think that's gonna bring everybody to the table?
I think so. I would think so. It would get more, more people,
Hmm.
would come
You know,
in and register.
okay.
That fee is kind of steep,
You know that's a lifetime fee.
$250.
You pay that fee one time for as long as you own that home.
Then you have the 3 years,
That's,
275.
and it's,
Yeah,
I'm sure,
because there is a fee associated with the rental when they come and do the
inspection.
inspection.
Yes.
So,
That's every 3 years.
yeah, I would think so. I agree with Councilman Pfeiffer as far as bringing that fee down. But I don't know. We're gonna have to do something about getting people to come in and say, hey, I got a rental property, I need to register.
Sure. Yeah,
No.
like I said, I'm all ears. Any help would be welcome.
Yeah. I'll yield my time for now.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair.
Is there anyone else who'd like to discuss this?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
thank you. All right, so what I see that we have right now is you pay a one-time forever fee of $250.
To register
To
a
register, yeah.
property that
Mhm.
you're going to use as a rental, yes.
Okay. And then every 3 years, you pay $225 for an inspection.
Correct. That's for a single family home, $225.
All right. And that's every 3 years.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So I just heard a council member say 275.
No, there is a fee schedule. So I know single family homes, 225
Oh.
for the inspection cost. And it gets, if it's an apartment complex, it's going to be more than 225.
Okay.
So there's a,
So what you're saying is right.
graduated
So
fee.
it's 225.
That's for a single family home.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll disregard what I heard. Okay. All right.
Excuse me.
All right. So we have, so this is where I'm at with this. As I look at other municipalities and as I speak with property owners in the city, we have, again, some of that 250 for the life of that property is low. It's low. So 10 years later, my 250 still stands firm with the registration in his pocket of this property. 20 years later, $250 that covered me 20 years ago still stands firm with the registration of this property, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so I'll make sure I'm right on that. So that's a low buy-in cost forever. Because I see other municipalities, they do like, you have to register your property every other year. So, yes, okay. So
Some are every year.
some are every year, you're right. Again, this is definitely on the low end. So if we were to, I'm not for making it a $100 flat fee forever. When we have other municipalities, like I say, it's every year. So if they wanted to break this up, I'll be open to that, or make it $100 a year, if that'll make it better. But it'd be only fair, because we'd be playing ourselves if we were to drop it. Now, I do have a question when we're talking about, like say, people that own multiple homes. So say, for example, if you own 10 plus properties, what can we put in place for you? Like, would your registration fee go down because you are a good landlord? Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you. If you could take one landlord or one property, it doesn't matter if it's one landlord, but yeah, you take one landlord, one house, and if it's complied, because it's a 3-year cycle. If you pass your inspection, it's good for 3 years.
Yeah.
If you have one of them that passes 2 cycles, say it's good for 6 years, you've passed twice. That means your property is passed, you've had 6 years of compliance. Maybe we could talk about maybe having one for free then. Put an incentive like that out there. That's
A free
certainly not
inspection?
going to be an arbitrary, rule made by myself. All these things are in an ordinance, and that's just what we follow. The registration fee, or when you register it, and when you pay for your inspections, it'd be great if we dropped a fee and everybody jammed into our office and had compliance. I mean,
Okay.
I don't see it happening, but I would certainly embrace it.
Okay, so but that is a thought though on what
I
you
mean,
said.
that's why I ask for anybody's input and help to help our housing in this city.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like a good idea, because again, our job is to be innovative. And I don't think that lowering the fee the forever fee by $150 is going to make people come in. Either they have, I'm going to pay my bills in mind, or they do not, period. And I noticed that a lot of landlords, they don't respect the property in the city of Flint. Now, we do have some that do. I'm not
Sure.
talking about them. I'm talking about those that don't. And so I don't think that's going to change anything. So yeah, thank you so much for that suggestion.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Mashat, I think you're the only one who hasn't spoke, besides myself.
No, I'm in complete agreement with what you're saying of the fee should just stay the same. They, obviously, the staff and the enforcement is a part of the issue and them having time to do it. But I don't think if you drop the fee, they're still not gonna come in and volunteer to do anything. If you look at other cities, this is near about or comparable. And I just think that it is something that is necessary. The city of Flint is full of vacant properties. And this is a way for us to, one, know what properties are vacant. Two, it's a way for us to know who the actual owner is. Obviously, we have the property portal and all of that other stuff, but sometimes that takes time. Or sometimes it's not updated. I know we have another system that we have to look at now outside of the property portal, but this helps us know about vacant properties, helps us, one, I think it also encourages those owners to try and rent out the properties rather than just sit on the properties. I think when we look at all of the factors that go into why this registry was created, I'm more than fine with the fee that we have in place. I agree with you when you say that lowering the fee will not, they're still not going to come and do it. If they were going to do it, they would do it. Whether it's $100 or $250, they're not registering properties because it is hard to keep up with the amount of vacant properties that we have. I think that this is the best option that we have to do the residents who live around those vacant properties a favor and keep their homes in as best condition as possible. So I don't have a problem with the fee. I think the fee is fine. I won't support changing the fee.
Thank you. I'm going to take my time. So am I correct in assuming that this is like a license to do business within the city of Flint for that property?
You can certainly look at it like that, yes.
Okay, so if I'm looking at the licensing fees under the city clerk, Madam Clerk, are these fees that are listed under licensing, are they annual fees or one-time fees? I'm looking at page, let's say, bottom is page 6, mainly on page 7 of the master fee schedule.
So it depends. Some of them are like event related, but the ones that are for ongoing would be annual. So like, for example, I'm just looking at, dance hall or something like that. That would be, more often than not, it's for an event or something like that. They're not really used, but yes, they
Yeah,
are annual
Madam
fees.
Clerk, you need to speak up.
Yeah, they are annual fees.
They are annual fees. Okay, so we've got annual fees for a convenience store, $400. I think it's hard to tell on the line, but it looks like $400 annually. A dance hall is $305 annually. There was a peddler for daily, $191. So, I mean, I'm not in favor of lowering this fee for rental houses to a minimal fee. I don't think it's going to affect, it's only going to lower what we bring in, which it also, I also don't think that many people are paying it, and they're not going to pay it regardless because they don't want people to come in and inspect their property. They don't want to take the chance that your department will come in and say, this is unfit for human habitation. I just don't think. But every other fee that is licensing a business in the city is an annual fee. We're talking about a lifetime fee for a rental house, which, so I am not in favor of dropping it to a minimal amount. I'm in favor, if we're going to drop it to a minimal amount based on Saginaw, $125 a year. I know we have a landlord here who wouldn't be happy with that, $125 a year. $250 for a lifetime is minimal compared to being a business within the city. A peddler for 6 months is the same as a peddler for 1 day. Let's look at that if we need to look at something. But I'm ambivalent about the 250. But when we're looking at a lifetime fee, that's a little different than if it was an annual fee, $250, I'd say, yeah, let's go ahead and change it. But a lifetime fee, I have a little bit of a problem changing it. But I'm also not going to stop the master fee schedule from being passed based on a stupid $125. Second round, any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Ryder, last year, a large corporation bought a ton of houses from the land bank. You aware of that? Or from the land bank or the treasury? It was from the treasurer. It was several hundred houses. Did they sign up for this? Have you had someone come into the office and sign up multiple hundreds of houses?
Never.
Okay. I think it's ironic that my colleagues are against lowering this fee, but they complain about rental fees. They complain about rent, but yet a nonprofit will come in here and they'll give them a 30-year tax abatement to put in low-income housing that isn't low income. But someone who does a 1 or 2 houses or 10 houses or whatever that is, they want to tax them because why not? But does Community First come up and sign up every one of their units?
Rarely does anybody voluntarily walk in and take care of their business. We
Are
have to push on
are
them.
nonprofits exempt from this fee?
No.
So how many, Communities First owns how many units in the city of Flint? And they don't sign up for this.
Well, they have. I'm just saying, rare does the person voluntarily come in and take care of their business without a little push.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a shove.
And my point, and my perspective is when you lower taxes, you actually boost the income because you get more involvement. To me, that's a proven fact. Whether or not, and I can count votes, obviously, some people want to tax the hell out of the residents because eventually these fees get paid by the renters. They don't get paid by the owners, they get paid by the renters.
Exactly.
So I'm going to make it anyways. I'm going to make them vote it down. So I make a motion to change the rental license and registration fee from $250 to $100, and I so move.
There's a motion on the floor to change the registration fee for license for rentals from $250 to 100, what is it, 125? $100. Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and properly seconded, moved by Councilwoman in the 8th ward, supported by the Councilwoman in the 6th ward. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Nice try. Fun fact. Just because we lower a fee for them doesn't mean they won't raise the rent for the resident anyway, that they won't raise it the next year and the next year and the next year. All I heard was, please give this person who's doing business relief over a resident, because that doesn't mean they're going to offer that relief to the resident. Every year rent goes up and incomes do not. So this fee that they're not paying already, they'll continue to not pay even though you've lowered it and continue to raise the rent on residents anyway. So no, won't be voting to lower a fee for them, especially when the residents are going to pay more rent to them anyway. Thank you.
That's true.
Thank you.
And make
Any
up
other
that money.
discussion?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I will absolutely be supporting this because I don't know slumlords. And so most of the people, when they're renting these homes, they roll those fees into this. and the tenant does pay. And landlords who actually have these properties, there's a long waiting list. It's the issues with getting the water cut on, getting electricity cut on, different things. So Mike, so when you come in, your fee is $250, right?
To register the property,
Okay, and then what is the $275 that they're paying?
them are for the inspections.
Okay, so you pay $275 for inspections so that the person down there can understand that. So people
request
have
for information.
$475.
What's your request?
Did he say, 225 for inspection or 275?
For a single family home, it's, no, you guys, 225 for the single family homes, because it's 250 to register it. And 225 for a single family home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We want to clear that up.
All right.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you.
So
Go ahead,
she
Ms.
needs to
Burns.
clear up some other stuff. So, what is Sunset Village? Because I'm really concerned, 100 and something units. How do they come in to do this?
So when you have a multiple, so it's
And that's a big
anything
one.
3 units and above is considered a multiple. There's a breakdown, so you pay, if there's multiple buildings,
There's multiple
you get
buildings,
one
169
building, yeah,
units.
so you pay $105 fee immediately because it's a multiple.
So the fees
Then you're gonna
vary.
pay, yes, they all vary. Then you're
Thank
gonna
you.
pay per building, and then you're gonna pay per unit.
Thank you. So with these, the cost is baked into their deposit.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, not your fault,
I
because you're
don't
not a
know.
landlord. I mean, well, I don't know if you are, you might be, but I'm saying for the ones that I know, that they carry that cost over to who's ever renting the property. And renting homes is, you look at the apartments are high.
Exactly.
They're 12, 13, 1,400 per month.
Yep.
When the homes are still rented about 7 to about 1,100 per month is about the average. And so the homes are still cheaper. I have dealt with, and clearly understand people with multiple properties. My aunt has multiple properties. She's got a waiting list on her properties.
Are they all registered?
Absolutely. I see, now I'm gonna get her, because absolutely, everything is registered. Absolutely everything. And you probably know his name because he's down there. They do everything above board. She's on properties for over 30 years.
Well, we thank him for that.
No, it's her and her
Or
son.
her.
And yeah, and they have them all over Flint, and not just Flint, all over Genesee County. And so when we talk about these properties, they get the most difficult time because your office probably needs more people. It's the lag time with getting people to do things. So
Wow.
there's a waiting period.
We got to pay we have to afford our inspectors too.
Oh, absolutely. How many
And-
inspectors do you
and,
have now?
We have 3 rental inspectors, so we have 3 people that do the rental inspections in this city.
Okay, so those costs for Flint, it is cheaper to rent a home, and we look at what they're charging in apartments. You generally get more square footage. So the apartments is still getting the same thing. So I have apartment complexes in my ward. I have them. And I've got rental homes. And when we look at, what people are paying, it's often hard to come up with that deposit. That's just a fact.
So do you think in an apartment complex of 400 apartments, that $250 registration fee is really going to affect?
No, I'm not talking, I'm saying that there probably needs to be looked at the rates, like you were saying, maybe a scale, or if someone owns 10 properties.
Okay.
Or if they own 25 properties, that we maybe need to look at that. And we know if they're good, because they're registered. Their record is consistent. Absolutely consistent. So I think those are things that, and they're part of the Landlords Association, which I know may not be friends of yours right now, but.
That's news to me.
Oh, well, those prices. So I'm saying I think we need to look at maybe if they own bulk and maybe look at bulk in that pricing, maybe to adjust that, not just saying 5 rental houses or 1 or 2, or maybe we need to look at 10 and above to maybe have a sliding scale. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round? Sorry. Any other discussion? Go ahead.
Thank you. All right, so we're talking about making the flat forever fee $100.
I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, well, this motion on the floor
Okay.
is for that. It's to allow individuals to pay $100 for the duration of their rental property, of them owning it. Okay, we're not talking about any fees or anything, any other inspection fees, but just their registration fee. So we just want to go down these quick facts. So looking at Pontiac, their registration fee is $300. And then looking at Saginaw, like Councilman Priestley said, their annual reoccurring registration fee is $150. Kalamazoo annual registration fee. If council colleagues will listen, they might learn something and find out why this is not a good idea for the city. But as we talk, I will just continue to speak with you and the residents. In Kalamazoo, the annual registration fee is $110
Man,
annually.
you're always throwing shade.
All right.
Dr. Lewis.
And so
Liddell
what we're
Lewis,
trying to
she
do,
keeps
we're
throwing
trying
shade all the time
to
whenever
tell
she
people
talking.
in
She
Flint,
always
we're already
attacking other
cash strapped.
people.
We're already talking about residents, how we're short on
She
water
remind me
money,
of
we're short on
Tiffany.
this,
She
but we
always gotta
want to
attack
tell
everybody.
the people, give us $100 and you good for forever. When other municipalities are saying, you shall not, you will give us $300 registration fee, and then you still have to pay your inspection fees. Then they're saying you give us $150 every year, but we're trying to say we're going to give somebody $100 a fee and expect them to adhere to the law, which they were supposed to be adhered to in the first place. It sounds like we have a compliance problem. And it sounds like, again, that we must look at what other municipalities are doing. You know, we want to talk about Saginaw and their ARPA dollars. Let's look at what Saginaw doing with their rental fees. If we're going to look at what people are doing, let's look and see what people are doing. And they're not doing this. And then when you look at the inspection fee, $225 every 3 years. That's broken down to $75 a year. $75 a year is basically like the going fee for inspection.
And that gets you 2 inspections.
Huh?
That cost gets you 2 inspections.
So that's 2 inspections.
That's one to go out if in fact there's some issues that you need to address. It's noted.
Uh-huh.
Give you time to comply, call us back, we go back out and verify that whatever needed taken care of has been taken care of. So you actually get this full service.
So that's an inspection and a follow-up, right?
Correct.
Okay. Because they're doing it differently in Swartz Creek in terms of the follow-up. And I mean, for everything that you are not in compliance with, you know, that's an additional rate. The point is, we'll be playing ourselves if we were to drop this forever fee down to 100. It should be 500, honestly. But 250, that's fair for the life of the property. That's beyond fair. According to what other municipalities are doing, it is beyond fair. And so I'm tired of taking losses and then us coming back talking about how we're short and things are not, how we don't have any money, because we don't. You were talking about a lot of rental property. I mean, all those things combined speaks to, I mean, the lack of people paying their property taxes, the lack of people paying utilities. All those things hurt our coffers. So we're about to voluntarily give people a break that are not paying anyway. Now, when we begin to talk about lowering the fee for people that own a lot of property. So say if you own 20 properties, okay, maybe what if your forever fee becomes $150 or $200? I'll entertain that. But overall, $250 for the life of the property is pretty good. And as far as the inspection, like you say, $225, that means 1 inspection and 1 follow-up, and you're good for 3 years. that's beyond generous compared to what other people are doing. So since we are in control of the purse strings of the city, that'll be that'd be irresponsible for us to do that. So that's why I'm not going to support this resolution. Well, excuse me, this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion in the first round? Any other discussion in the first round? I'll just take a minute and say this is not a hill I'm willing to die on. Is there any discussion on the floor, in the second round? Any discussion in the second round? Go ahead.
Yes. So I'm just going to reiterate that I will be voting no. Everything that you have just laid out, mixed with my colleagues' arguments. So one, $250 for the lifetime of them owning that property is going to get them 2 inspections that they won't have to get again for 3 years, right?
For the additional inspection fee, that you pay the one-time fee, then you pay the inspection fee also.
Correct. So again, let's walk through this. We had a colleague talking about all of the fees and stuff that they have to pay and everything that goes into an inspection, right? And even though she might know people who are on the up and up, we can agree there are a whole lot of landlords who are not on the up and up, who do not take care of their properties, who do not provide the correct living conditions, who are not responsive, yet every last one of them, whether they're responsible or not responsible, what do they do every year? Raise rent, correct? Every single year, no matter what. And one thing we know, when they're raising their rent, we know a lot of people's incomes are not being raised with that rent, but people have to keep trying to figure out how to scrap and pay that. So them for the lifetime of you having that property, all you have to do is give us this $250 fee for something that we know you're going to raise the rent on anyway. Most of them not even paying this fee and are still raising the rent every year. This is not unreasonable. This makes complete sense. And again, we're going to ask for relief for people who are not giving relief to residents. They're raising the rent every year because they can. And all we're saying is $250 for the lifetime. We're not even raising the fee every year, and we could. And then you're standing here as someone who does this work every day. You've done this work for the city for decades, not gonna say how long. And so you know how many people come in and actually pay that fee. They're not coming in to pay the $250 because they're not being forced to, or when they are, it's some people do come in and pay it voluntarily. I want to be clear. Some people do come in and pay it voluntarily. But for the most part, a lot of people have to be poked and prodded. If you think that taking $150 off and only putting it down to $100 is going to have them running in here, it's not. If you think that's going to stop them from still raising rent, it won't. They'll pay that $100 if they decide to come in, take your 2 inspections, your inspection and your follow-up, and still raise. They'll come here and they'll do what? We're talking about all the fees that go into deposits and everything else. They'll still make people pay all those deposits, all those fees and everything else. We've lowered it to $100 and they still will not pay that $100. So we can say this is baked into fees for residents. They're gonna make the residents pay this whether they pay this fee or not.
Thank you. Any other discussion this was the second round, wasn't that?
Yep, Madam.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm willing to entertain the dropping of the fee and getting rid of the forever piece and just make it $100 annual fee.
Are you making a motion?
So, no, I'm not gonna make the motion. I'm going to, because I'm fine with what they got going. But if my colleagues choose to do so, I will definitely support. If we make it $100 annual fee, because I don't want, again, the city shouldn't be losing. I mean, this is already very generous. So, and this is
Request for information.
What's your request?
We're changing it. You're willing to entertain us changing it to a $100 fee. Is that $100 fee include the caveat that then that $150 will come off the rent every year?
Well, you know what? Highly unlikely that will happen once they say, hey, I no longer have to pay the $250 that I'm not paying. So let me go ahead and deduct 150 off the rent. That's not going to happen. But you know, it'll prove the hypothesis, so we can come back in here and say, it didn't work. So I mean, I'm cool either way. So they can make
Point of
the motion.
information.
What's your
So
point?
You said it'll prove what?
it'll prove that I'm going to continue to speak. And $100 annually, if we go with the $100 annually, and we see how it rides the first year, we're going to see the influx of people run into your office to pay this fee. So I'm definitely down with making it $100 annually. So no more forever fees. So if you own that property for 20 years, we about to get how much off of you? Yeah. So So let's make it $100, and we'll see if Mr. Pfeiffer's hypothesis is correct. So I'll entertain a motion. Thank you. That's my time.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the second round? Any other discussion?
Now
in
we
the
see
second-
how
go ahead.
sarcastic and nasty
I
she
feel
can be.
stupider for hearing that.
She just nasty. She
We
don't
can't
know how
collect
to
water bills,
talk.
and we're gonna collect
She always
$100
gotta
a year
talk
from
to
renters?
people on her
From-
board,
that
on the
just
board
makes
with her,
zero
like
sense.
she's
Our collection
so
efforts in the
intelligent, and
city
they
are
are
horrible.
all beneath her. It
What my
irritates me
whole
every time I
point
watch these
is
board,
nobody's
one's
rushing
board
in to
meeting.
pay $250. Maybe they might come in and pay $100. That's my whole point. I could give two cares whether or not this passes or not. I'm trying to get more involvement, which means more inspection fees, better living conditions, because nobody's rushing in to pay $250. But keep it at $250 and see the 5 people that come in. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. Good for you.
Any other discussion in the second round? RL. Ritter, did you find out were you able to get the numbers of how many rentals we have in the city that are licensed?
That are licensed, that have complied, that's registered and complied with a little over 800.
800
Are in full compliance.
in full
yes.
compliance. Current inspection
That, since this ordinance went into place,
in 2021. Do we know how many paid the initial licensing fee and are not in compliance?
about 2,500 have paid all their fees, but they just haven't ever passed the inspection. So out of the 2,500, you got 850 that have passed, have complied.
So there's a good chance, well, we already know that there are a lot of rental housing in Flint that are substandard or could be lacking in one area or not. And I know that there are many homes in the fourth ward that fit that bill. And like I said, this is not a hill I'm willing to die on. I'm in favor of keeping the 250. I'm ambivalent about $100. I don't think it's going to change anything, but if that's what it takes to get this budget passed, I'm going to agree with it. There are certain things that's not worth a fight. And to me, this is not one of them. This is the vote to change the rental licensing fee from $250 to $100.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Mashat,
No.
Mr. Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett is absent. Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis,
No.
the vote is 4 yes, 2 no.
The vote is 4 yes, 2 no, that fails. Is there any other discussion? There's a second, I got the wrong number here. Is there any other discussion on the adoption of the master fee schedule? We're in the second round.
Madam Chair, I used my times.
Ye- Yes.
So I can't make any more amendments?
Not at the discussion on this resolution. I would.
Madam
is-
Chair?
Go ahead.
I would like to make a motion that we extend discussion for this resolution by another three rounds. Another 3 rounds.
There's a motion on the floor to extend the discussion, to extend this resolution for another 3 rounds. For how long? A round?
5 minutes
For 5 minutes.
per round.
Is there support?
Support.
There is a motion on the floor. This is the vote to, it was made by Councilwoman in the 5th Ward and supported by the Councilwoman in the 6th Ward to have 3 additional rounds of 5 minutes. This is the vote. There's no discussion on this motion.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? No. Mr. Pfeiffer,
Yes.
Dr. Lewis,
No.
Ms. Priestley.
Yes,
The vote is 4 yes, 2 no.
the vote is 4 yes, 2 down, 2 no's. That motion fails. So we're on the second round of discussion on the master fee schedule. Is there any other discussion? People who have spoken are just Mr. Pfeiffer. Any other discussion?
Point
Mr.
of
Winfrey
order.
Carter,
Point of order.
what's your point?
If we started we started in the second round, you said he was the only one that spoke, but she just had the floor to make a motion. Wouldn't that make her have spoke in the second round as well?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is true. All right, so is there any other discussion in the second round? Seeing none, this is the vote to approve 250172-T. The adoption of the 25-26 master fee schedule.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
procedurally, I have a question before the vote, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I cannot hear what's being said.
I have a question procedurally before
Okay.
the vote. The motion.
RL.
On the motion to approve this resolution, I don't keep track of the rounds or discussion. Before Mr. Pfeiffer made his motion to amend the master fee, so was the discussion concluded on the motion to approve? Because this item, like the budget, allows for multiple amendments. If you only have the discussion for that amendment time, then it really doesn't give time to make amendments that might be desired by council
So
members.
what we've done is we went, we completed, we were in the second round when Mr. Pfeiffer made his motion,
The amendment motion.
the amendment. Right. And then we went back, we voted against the amendment that was made, and then we went back and I offered second round discussion again and had any additional discussion in the second round.
But would a amendment motion be in order regardless? If it's a motion. The
Request
motion
for
is always in
information.
order.
What's your request?
Does the chair understand that what the clerk is saying is that procedurally you can allow, because this is budget, that you can allow him to make a motion even if we're not having discussion? Like, even if he's used both of his rounds in the discussion, that you can allow him to make an amendment, because the
Is
whole
that what
point
you're
of this is
saying?
passing the budget.
Correct, because otherwise you're not.
Okay.
You would
All right, if
time limit the
that's,
amendments.
I have no problem with that. Okay, so is there any other amendments? Are there any other amendments?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Um, I make a motion to amend line 377, the alcoholic liquor sales from 1,000 to 1,500, and I so move.
Line 377, let me go to that, please. I was right on that page. Okay, there's a motion on the floor by the councilman in the 8th ward to change the alcoholic liquor sales fee from $1,000 to $1,500. Is there support?
Madam Chair, I'll support that.
Hello,
Okay, it's been
everyone.
moved and
Those
supported by the,
those in the bushes and those that's
councilwoman in the
online.
5th
Thank you for
ward. Is
joining me.
there-
Also, I
is-
want
do
to
you
thank
do
those
discussion
that's
then,
going
Madam
to view the
Chair, or Madam
replay.
Clerk?
Thank you so much. Those that's doing the replay, if you
Have we
would
been allowing
kindly
discussion?
like
Okay, all right, I
and
just want to make sure that
subscribe, I would
procedurally I'm
really
following the
appreciate it.
correct
But
procedure.
this is
All right, is there any
Flint.
discussion?
Yes.
If you know,
Go ahead.
Advocate Jedediah Brown has been fighting
When
with
we
this
drive
board
down
and the
every
mayor
street in the city of
this
Flint,
town in
there
regards to the
is
water problems and
liquor
also
stores.
with what the board
And
is
we want to
doing.
talk about
And
cleaning
they
up
are
our
talking about
neighborhood.
everything,
We want to
most
talk
of their
about
meetings
raising more
except for the water
revenue
issue. So I don't know if
instead of
that's
taking it
in
from the
their,
people,
they supposed to talk about it or not.
because I would
But
say
what I hear is
90% of
people coming
everyone
to
that
them
owns a liquor
complaining
store
about the water
is an
issue.
owner from out
And
the
they're
city.
addressing everything but the water issue and also
So
hitting below the belt at
to
each
me,
other on the board. I mean, very low blows. And they're calling each other out of
Madam
names,
Chair, through you to
attacking them
Ms.
about
Donahue.
who
Ms.
they
Donahue, do
are
you
and
know
how
how
they,
many
and
alcohol liquor sales we
Dr.
have to issue each
Liddell
year?
Lewis,
I'm
she's
sorry?
good for
How many
and
alcoholic
hitting them below the belt a lot.
liquor sales
She's
licenses we
really,
issue each year?
really, really nasty. And
They
she
have changed the law
reminds
so
me of
that
Tiffany
a lot
with
of
her
the types aren't required
derogatory
through the legislative
and her
body.
her
So the
nasty
numbers
ways
have
of talking
truly
to the people on the
decreased
board. And
in
she's
recent
always
years.
talking to them like
But
they
in the
can use
past,
her.
they would average
And
um,
you have some that stand up to her and
probably
come
about
back at her.
no more
But
than
it's just the
10 to
point that
20 a
she's
year.
feel like
So
But it's
only
been a
10 to
while.
I can
20
say
of
what I want to
this
say and do
line
what I
item
want to do.
come through you?
And she's really needs
Yes,
to be
we
voted
would,
off the
that
board
is,
because she's
it
What would
starts
it-
in our office,
contentious.
yes.
What would exempt?
And so I'm just giving you a little idea of what
Can you explain
Jed
the
is
law to
dealing
me
with when
why
he goes to
some
Flint,
party stores
the
would
mind
have to
frame
come
and the
here and others
mindset
would
of
not?
these people
I
on the
think it
board
speaks more
and
now
this
to
city.
transfer
So
of a
I'm not gonna be
license
on here
and
much
that sort of thing, and
longer
it depends on,
because
like a lot of the licenses
I was
that
just
have been
saying if
coming
they're
before
gonna
this
bring up
body
anything
have to
about the
do
water
with
issue, which they're
outdoor
not,
liquor sales at
they're
restaurants and
talking about
things like that.
everything else but
But
that.
otherwise, a
So
lot of these,
I'm not gonna
they're
be on
not
here much
coming before
longer.
us
I
anymore.
just
Like
wanted
we
to
haven't
give you
had
an
any
idea of what
in
he's
the last
dealing with
couple of
in
years
regards to the
that
people
weren't
there and
just
their
for
mindset
restaurants
So
downtown.
and what's
this is a
important and
special
what's not
occasion liquor
important
license?
within themselves as far as
We
that
haven't
city.
gotten any applications,
And
that's all
they're
I know, from the
elected
Liquor Control
officials for
Commission.
their wards. So I just want to give you an idea that it's not only in Dalton, it's not only in Harvey, but it's
Excuse me,
quite a
Mr.
few in Illinois
Mr.
that
Okay, I'll yield.
and
I'll yield.
Michigan, and there's quite a few boards that's out here doing this. So it's not only in Dalton,
Oh, you
not
can
only in
sit down, Mike.
Illinois, it's also in Michigan
Sorry,
too.
All right,
sorry.
thank
I
you.
just
Can I
give you
go?
an idea.
Or,
So we just have to stay,
I mean, am I
Second.
done?
on
It-
our
I'm just-
elected
are-
officials and make sure they're
please
doing
pause
what they
this
need
time,
to
make
do.
sure we
And
don't
it could
use up
be
Mr.
even in
Piper's
your
time.
own community.
Um,
And this can
Does
be happening
anybody
with
have
your
any other
elected
questions
officials.
for
So
Mike
you have to
before
stay
we
on
make
your
this
elected officials in
Go home and enjoy
your
your
area.
evening, Mr.
I
Flynn.
live in Washington,
Thank you.
DC, and we're
Thank
standing on
Thank
our
you,
elected
Art.
officials here
Thank you,
in
Art.
regards to
I didn't know
our
he was
different
still sitting
wards
there.
in
Okay,
the city of
you're
DC.
done,
And
Mr.
Ward
Pfeiffer,
7
right?
is not getting the attention it needs to get from the
Are
city
you,
of
okay,
DC
is there any
either.
other
So
discussion
we're
in this,
staying on
in this,
our,
first round?
elected
Madam
officials
Clerk,
that
I
Yes.
mean,
in
Madam
regards to
Chair,
what they're doing
RL,
for
please,
our
I'm
ward.
not gonna ask
So
you
I
again.
just bring this attention that we
through you to
all
the
need to
clerk.
stay on
Yes.
our elected officials in
So
regards to our area.
what he's trying to amend, whose sales, I
So
mean,
I'm gonna stay on
whose
it a
fee
little
is
bit
this
longer,
for?
and then I'm gonna come on out, and I'm gonna
This
discuss
is
it a little bit.
for liquor sales for the, any liquor stores is
So
what
it is for liquor stores?
Yes.
And
But-
so, okay, so I think the question was specific to liquor stores when he asked. And so you're only getting 20 or 30 licenses from liquor stores around here?
No, the
Okay.
applications that come through the Liquor Control Commission, these are the renewable licenses, but much like any other things that are in the city, a lot of these are transferable. So we're not getting a lot of new licenses on a regular basis. These fees are for the, like, out liquor sales at restaurants and things like that, where they have to do the background check and all that through the city.
So, but you're saying as far as the liquor stores, they're not renewing their licensing?
Yes, they are.
They are?
Yes.
I'm trying to understand. So you're saying we're not getting a lot of renewals?
Not through this body, no. So.
No, okay, so, but that's not the question that I guess he's asking. You're saying only about 20 to 30 entities are covered, or only 20 to 30 entities apply for a renewal?
That are new, pretty much, yes, annually, yes. A lot of them are established stores and things like that.
Right, so the 20 to 30 entities that you're discussing are coming from the liquor stores and they're renewing, and this fee is their renewal.
This is an annual fee for those stores, yes.
We have a lot of stores and liquor stores in Flint, so only 20 to 30
Are new on average.
are new. So these are not for renewal. This is just simply for a new.
So
So the reason I ask, wait. Oh, I know we don't have 20 to 30 new liquor stores popping up every year.
not lately, no. This is just the annual. Like, I'm not sure exactly the number that we would have annually for just liquor sales.
So
But-
is this for new sales, new stores, or renewal of old stores, or is this a combination of both?
Renewal. It's a combination, but this is mostly renewals at this point.
Mostly renewals of the liquor stores that we see around town.
Yes. But
I don't know why they're not renewing, because I know we have more than 20 to 30 liquor stores around here.
Okay, I stopped it. Hi, Bay Solo. Thank you for joining. Hi, Miss Regina. Thank you for joining. Basically, I was showing Flint. Bay Solo, this is where our boy Jedediah. Exactly, Regina. I don't think they know what they have in Flint. I don't even think they know what they're doing in Flint. I have seen this board and they've been so dysfunctional. They're attacking one another. They're not talking about what the issues are. Most of their board meeting has been personal. They're not actually dealing with a lot of the issues. And yeah, it's a mess. It's really a mess. I have watched these board meetings lately since Jed been going up there and they've been talking about the water. So I've been kind of checking out the board meetings to see what is really going on besides just the mayor. And the board meetings are not together. They attacking one another. They walking out on each other. They doing like the township. They up and walking out because Dr. Liddell Lewis is attacking them personally. If they say anything, she gets personal with them. Of course, they're going to come back personal, and to a point that it gets so bad that one of the other people get from their wards gets up and walk out and leave her sitting there, and then she's want to say her little sarcastic, mean, hateful stuff, and they all keep telling her the reason they're walking out is because all you want to do is continue to attack us, and when we're not getting anything done. Exactly. They're fighting more. You're right, Bay Solo. They are attacking. You're right. The board is meeting, fighting more than the mayor. Exactly. They're fighting each other. There's nothing changing to better anything. And you're right, Bay Solo. The difference with the township, they had to walk out on Tiffany. They out on this one too. Um, the lady, okay, the Caucasian lady that's sitting there, all the people to where we facing them to the right have walked out on her on Dr. Liddell Lewis. They have walked out and left the white lady and her sitting there sometimes, and of course it ends the quorum, so there's no more meeting. So it's like they're attacking and defeating the purpose of them being a board. They're not getting anything done, and then they get people up there and they start trying to tell what they up there for, and she's cutting them off or she's saying something. Basically, Dr. Liddell is doing a lot more than what she needs to, which is she say a lot of sarcastic, nasty, underhanded, below the belt stuff that makes the other board members walk out. Then she gets mad. Oh, that see, they walking out and they this and they saying because we walking out because you're being nasty and mean to people, and we're not going to see you and let you continue to attack us. And I mean, even AK Cole, he even said that I've shown some of his videos and he's even showing how bad they are. When is their election cycle? I don't know, but I will look it up and find out for you, Regina. So when I come on, I can let you know. But it's time for them to go. It's time for some of them to go, and it's not. They're not helping. Um, Especially Dr. Liddell Lewis. She needs to be gone. She really do because she's a lot of the problems there that they're having. And that's why they walking out on her a lot because she's very, very nasty and has a very nasty attitude. And she always belittling them or talking down to them. I guess because she has the doctor title, she feel like all of them are beneath her in education, and the way she talks to them, like their educational level is beneath her. And it's time for her to go because she's causing more problems with the boy than helping with the boy. Yeah, they have. Yes, they have. Flint. The board meeting. Some of the boards have walked out on some of the public comments too. And then she's always, she's always. Dr. Liddell Lewis is always, giving them warnings. This is your second warning. You out. Escort him out. She's doing a Harvey thing. She's weaponizing the police against them too. If they say something out in the audience, he's so busy looking at the people talking in the audience or acting a certain way in the audience that she warns them and then have them escorted out. And then some of the other board members say, "No, you can't do that," and she gets angry anyway. And basically, I'm gonna do what I want to do, kind of attitude. Yeah, you. Um, yes, Regina. As a country, we all need to be more aware of election cycles, our voting rights, and everything that happens in our community. It starts at home. You're right. I used to be honest with you, Regina and Bay Solo. I wasn't into my community. We have here in Washington, D.C., we have wards too. We have 8 wards, and I'm in Ward 7. And I used to get said, it ain't gonna matter. They're gonna do what they want to do. But now that I'm being affected by what's not happening in my ward, and then after, let me correct that. Me watching Dalton and the township and seeing what everybody there was going through, it started making me pay attention to my area, my people that we elected in office. And I started seeing some of the same things that's going on in my city of Washington, D.C. Ward 7, Ward 8, and Ward 6. We're going through what Flint is going through. We're the areas that get less help. But if you in Ward 1, 2, 3, and 4, you get more help with them because they're more the ones with the higher income in their wards. So the mayor always kind of lean more towards them to help them than they will with the other four wards. So we have to fight all the time and have to march all the time, and we have to keep going down to the um, town hall and fuss with them about help with us in our community. I live in a high rise community. There's two high rise and garden apartments in my apartment complex, and the conditions are terrible. And we got a new owner. Um, we had to go through our attorney general. We had to go through the housing board authorities. We been to court, and right now we're still fighting. We just had a tenant association meeting the other day, and we're still fighting because we got a new owner. They're telling them one thing, but they're not doing anything here that we can see. So now we got to write letters of things that we don't see that they have told the attorney general they have done, which they have not done. So now we have to come together with letters and come together as a community, and we have started to fight, and more of us are coming together. But then there's another lady in the back building. I'm in the front of high rise. There's another lady in the back high rise. She done started her own personal tenant association, which she's not doing anything that we are doing, and it's causing a conflict with the attorney general. And he was like, "Well, how many tenant associations do y'all have? One or two? You can't have but one." So we brought her in and the last meeting to see if we can get her to come over with us and help us to fight. And she got indignant, and she got really nasty and told our president of our tenant association to kiss her behind and some more stuff. And it got to a point that she was just disrespectful, talking over people, being real nasty, but yet she haven't done anything to the back high rise that needs to be done. Now, our tenant association, our front high rise and the garden apartments are getting taken care of, some of the needs. But there's nothing happening in hers, but she wants to still hold on to her little tenant association that's not having any meetings, have not gone down to the town hall, have not talked to Eleanor Holmes, have not talked to our commissioners, have not talked to our mayor, have not met with anybody that's substantial to help us out here. But yet she wants to be back there and be in charge of something. And you're right, Regina. It's because everyone wants to be in charge now. Sometimes the best position that you can play is a teammate and not a leader. That is correct. And this lady, our tenant association, a lot of things have started to happen for our community, for our complex. We're not as bad as some of these. They got real bad landlords that they have not come together to be a tenant association. They're just constantly going to the news. But we have gone to the news, and my apartment complex has been on the news here in DC, and showing that we are fighting in the conditions that we have, and we're continuing to fight. I was going to move out, but then I said, no, I'm not moving from my home. I'm going to stand my grounds, and I'm put my foot, as they say, put my foot on the ground and help them to put their foot on their necks to help us do what they need to do. So, it's hard out here. And a lot of times people don't pay attention to what their elected officials are doing for them. So, so I'm now, and that's why I say I think Dalton, and I think the township, that's why I'm so passionate about what's going on with you all, is because I'm happy for you all, Bay Solo, because you helped me to pay more attention to my elected officials. What's going on in my community? What can I do to help? What can I say? How can I push them? How can I assist in whatever they need? And we don't have a Jedediah advocate, but we still advocating. And I got a big mouth, so I have been, voicing my opinion from what I've seen with Dalton. So I'm standing up for my community, and I'm standing by my president of our tenant association. And I told her, I got your back, whatever you need. And I've been doing research and helping her the same way I was doing research to help with the content creators to bring up information that may help with Dalton. So that's the same thing I'm doing here. And I'm using my talent to do that. So when I come on with about Flint or Harvey, the reason I'm passionate about Harvey because I seen the pain and the heartaches that the people went through, you all went through in Dalton and the township. And now I'm seeing the pain that they're going through in Harvey. Now here we got Flint. The people's ward is still not done. They're talking about everything but what's going on. To me, I think the water problem should be the number one thing that they should come together at the board meeting and see what they could do to assist the residents in their wards to make sure they have better water conditions. Whatever else they need to do, who they else they need to talk to, how they going to fight. But you sitting there doing personal attacks and talking about everything but that, I have an issue with that. That's the reason why nothing can get done in these cities and town, these small cities and town, because nobody's coming together to fight. And I'm so thankful that Jed came to Dalton and he has his methods of doing it. And I commend him for it because he brought everybody together. He brought everybody to march together and take back their city and I mean township and their village. And I'm so happy that they came together. Now it's time for Flint. He's trying to get Flint to do the same thing. Um, Councilwoman Kobe Chapman and Miss Hooks from the Harvey Library, they're fighting and they're fighting against, and Ryan and all of them are fighting in Harvey, bringing attention and awareness and hoping that us content creators can help them the same way we help with Dalton to get him, get the mayor there where we can step on his neck. And the same here with this mayor, you know, and this board. We need to, content creators, we need to bring attention to these things because just because we're fine now don't mean that everybody else is fine. And sometimes they need our help the same way we need their help. I'm here in DC. I never know I might need content creators on here to help us here in DC in regards to my living conditions and my area. So you never know who you can help, but we need to come together and fight for the residents, fight for these wards constituents that's not looking out for them. I take my hat off to Councilwoman Kobe Chapman. She's getting arrested and everything because she's standing up for her people in her ward. And that's what we need. I'm gonna tell you how bad it was, bad it is in our ward. We had a young man that he did some illegal stuff to try to help us because what happened is our mayor Bowser threatened him if he ran against her at the last election for mayor. She wasn't going to assist him in his ward. Well, he ran against her anyway, and he lost, and she did it. Every time he asked for anything, she would blackball him. And she had her council people to blackball him to make sure that he didn't get the funding and the things he need for our ward. So he did some things that was not appropriate, but she had that set up on him because she wanted him to, and he's now no longer our commissioner of our ward. We have a new commissioner. But the thing was, that young man has did a lot. He brought a hospital in our area where we didn't have one. Now we have a hospital, and I thank him for it. But she's mad because he got the hospital anyway. She was doing everything she could to keep us from having a hospital right here in our ward where we didn't have to go across town to get medical care. And we finally got it in our area, and we are thankful. And they're mad. They are absolutely upset behind that. So they're doing everything in our ward to make sure that we don't get the help we need. And watching Flint, I'm looking at, here we are, we got a commissioner in our ward that's fighting for us, and our mayor ignoring her. So we had to go to the attorney general, go past her to go to the attorney general to get some help. And that's why we started to get some help now. We was able to get the hospital open, everything. because we had to go to the attorney general and we had to march and fight. So it lets me know what so much we have done here in our ward to fight back. So seeing Harvey, seeing Flint, and seeing them going through what they're going through, I understand. I wholeheartedly understand. And it's sad that so many of us are not paying attention to our elected officials. And now I thank Harvey. I thank Dalton. I think, and everybody say, you thank it, Tiffany? Yes, because she brought it, even though it was bad, but she brought it to our attention to start looking at what's going on in our own backyard. If this is going on there in Dalton, what are they doing in our own backyard? So that made us start looking and started making me pay attention. So, I'm part of the tenant association. I'm a team player in the tenant association. And I'm doing our president, tenant association president. I'm doing her like, uh, like she's Moses, and I'm holding her arms up, letting her know, you got this. We're going to do this. We got your back. We're fighting with you. You're not alone. And so it's the same with Harvey. We got to let um, Councilwoman Kobe Chapman know we got her. We holding her arms up, even though they try to hold her arms down and put tape over her mouth. We letting her know we got a voice too, and they can't tape our mouth shut. We can continue to talk and we can continue to fight for you. You just let us know what you want us to say or tell the people so we can fight with you and let them know that this is not the way it needs to be. And Bay Solo, I understand you're praying for her, and you know I feel sorry for her because I don't like the way she's going, and I feel like she's going on a downhill spiral. And I think the thing that's going to really wake her up, and I'm praying that it don't happen, but I just have this feeling it is. It's going to be when they arrest her, and she no longer have her daughter in her eyesight, and her daughter no longer with her. I think that's going to be her wake up call when she's finally sentenced for, you know, allegedly to prison, and her daughter is no longer in her life. And uh, as they call them, Leotis is not in her life anymore, and she's all alone. I think that's when she's going to get her wake up call. Until then, she feel that she's invincible, and that's sad because she's not really paying attention to heartache and the pain that she's going to go through. I have um I was with a group when I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we used to go out to the prisons and we used to talk to the women there and encourage the women there and let them know. And you'd be surprised how many women in there and the main hurt that they have. It's not that they was caught. It's not that they doing time. It's the hurt of not seeing their children or their mothers. Those that don't have any children not seeing their mother anymore or their children anymore. And that's the biggest pain. So many of them try to commit suicide or have gone through a deep depression because they couldn't see their children anymore, or they couldn't see their mother anymore, or their mothers passed away and they was unable to be there for them, or to tell them I'm sorry. That's a lot of pain. And you like right, Bay Solo, that's going to be a terrible pain for her with everybody that been pumping her up to do this and do that and pushing her. And now then when she get in there, she's all alone and she got to try to survive in the prison. I think that's going to be the most painful thing for her of all. And all I could do is pray for her that, and that hopefully God eventually reach down and touch her heart and touch her mind and change her mindset. Until then, all I could do is pray for her. That's all we can do. And I pray for the mayor and Harvey. You know, I don't like the way he's treating people. It's like a power a power play. It's like I don't know what it is about the power that people are sick on. It's like now everybody's sick on power. It's not sick on illnesses for the body. It's power sickness. Everybody want to be in charge. Everybody want to have power, and it's a bad sickness. Yes, he's an evil man, and from what I got, he was like that as an alderman. And now that he has more power, he's even more wicked, and that's the sad part. It's like wickedness is running rapid in Illinois. Well, it's not even. It's just throughout the country. Wickedness is just running rapid throughout the country, and I feel sorry for the people that are suffering from all this wickedness, including myself. You know, I pray for myself. I pray for the country. I pray for everybody. When I say my prayers, I pray for everybody, because we all are suffering in some manner of a way. And I'm just looking at Flint. So many people they was talking about they're sick or dying, or their children are having me- medical problems from the water. People are getting bottled water and running low on bottled water, and they spending all their money on bottled water to have water in this system. And you're right, babe Solo. There is higher power than the power on this earth. You are absolutely right. And it's just when they recognize it, they have to recognize that about that power. Until then, all we could do is use talk to the higher power, and intercede in behalf of them. And I was praying for Dalton, and when I saw the inauguration for the Dalton trustee and Jason as mayor, when I saw the meeting last night at the township, I saw Stephanie, and I said she's going to be the new administrative assistant, because everybody asking who's going. I knew it going to be Stephanie because she had it before. You know, it. It's the same job, it's just different title. Chief of staff, administrative assistant, all of them run depends on the area. Just like they here are called council. They're here on here are called. I think they call councilmen in Flint. They call councilmen and women in Harvey, but they call trustees in Dalton and Township. So everyone have a different title name for their area, but it's still the same job. So that's the thing that I see. It's just that the boys have to come together, and seeing how well the board ran last night, seeing them making Steph the administrative system, seeing Dalton and the board and the mayor, and how they talking with the people and asking questions with the people, letting the people ask them questions and answering the question. And then if they don't have the answer, they direct them to somebody that do have it. That's beautiful to me. That is so beautiful, because there's no little, no big I, no little I. It's all we. We coming together. We're uniting. We're bringing our village back together. We're bringing our township back together. Now it's time for Flint and Harvey to do the same thing, because right now they're doing more harm than help for their own area. I'm still hurt with the Harvey, that 80-some-year-old lady that lost her home because you done tricked her out of it. And everybody's like, oh, she should know, she should have called the family. Well, a lot of elderly people don't call their children every time something goes on in their home, because the children got lives too. And sometimes the children are so busy that after a while they start resenting or ignoring their parents' calls, or they resenting them because they're calling all the time. I grew up in the age where everybody called one another. I called my mother. I went to see my mother. I asked my mother if she needed anything. Mom, you need any money? Mom, how's the bills? What the bills looking like? Because at that time I was able to help my mother with the bills. And but a lot of people now don't care about family like they used to. And you're right, Bay Solo. They don't care about the families like they used to. You know, a lot of these older people do not reach out to their children. They're, you know, you call your, I have called my grandmother up. I'm doing fine, baby. Before she passed away, God bless her soul. I used to call her, Grandma, you need any help? No, baby, I'm good. You just worry about yourself. You sure, Grandma? Oh, I'm good, baby. You know, Grandma got it. I know what to do. I've been living these many years. I can keep doing it. And they don't realize, the family don't realize that you got somebody over here as a vulture homing in on your grandmother or your mother and lying to them and tricking them to give over their land. They told the lady about the water and turned the water off and she didn't sign these papers. So they signed the papers and come to find out they're taking the home. And then the home was 167 worth $167,000. They sold it for $2,000. 2,000. What house or what home do you know in this United States of America that you can buy for $2,000 that is a value of $167,000? This is sad. And they're doing to so many of the elderlies in there, and they know that they're old, they're not thinking the way they need to think. They're already dealing with their health problems. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna deal with their money to, keep itself going, till their last days. And here come a vulture in here that's playing with their mind and messing with their mind and taking what was theirs and what was they was leaving for their family. And I understand why Councilwoman was challenging him. And he wanted her out because he wanted to shut her up. And that is going on throughout the United States. Anybody that stands up for anybody that is wrong, they're going to try to close your mouth and keep you quiet. That's why I'm bringing attention to Flint to help Jedediah because he can't do it by himself. I'm bringing it on here. AK Cole, he's bringing attention. I'm bringing attention to Harvey. I've done talked to Ryan. Ryan said, thank you for, talking about it, bringing awareness to Harvey. What's going on with Harvey? I have spoke with Councilwoman Kobe Chapman. She's saying thank you. Sherry's saying thank you. Sherry Britton, she's saying thank you because I'm trying to get out here to all the content creators that I can to help us put our foot on his neck, Clark's neck, and also help Jedediah with Flint. Help these people out. Here we are, we drinking good water, and here they are, they drinking bad water, and nobody still have them. This been going on since 2014. This is 2025. How long should these people suffer? The government done came in, now they turned around and said there's no longer an emergency. So now they're trying to charge for the testing of the water and everything on the residents now. This is crazy. All this corruption, you never know what's going on. We think that federal government is the only problem we have. No, there are local problems too. There are local residents that's suffering. It's not all about the farmland. It's not all about what Trump is doing. It's not all about what the Congress is doing. Some of it is right in our own backyard, in our own front yard. And we ignoring that. When election come around, we don't even care about these people here. We worrying about who we gonna get as the president and who we gonna get for this. Yet you're not even looking at what's going on in your own backyard that's going to benefit you right at home. Like you said, Regina, right at home. Right at home. This is in your own backyard. This is your home. This is where you lay your head, pay your bills, pay those that pay mortgage, rent, taxes. All of this is in your backyard. What are they doing with your money? What are they doing in your community to make it better? What are they bringing to your community to help you? Are they bringing new grocery stores? Are they bringing new medical centers? Are they bringing anything, pharmacies in your area? Are they bringing produce in your area? Farmers markets close by where you can go and get fresh vegetables. fresh meats. What are they doing in your community that these constituents are needing and you and your elected officials are doing for you? Miss Regina said, if you have ever taken a flight, the first thing they tell you when you're going through the instruction is to put your own mask on first if they lose oxygen. Exactly. Take care home first. Take care, deal with your own backyard. My grandma used to say, worry about your own backyard before you worry about somebody else's. Well, this time I messed up. I was so worried about the Dalton and Township backyard, I didn't even pay attention to what was going on in my own backyard. Now I'm paying attention to my own backyard. Sometimes it happens the opposite. You pay attention to the other backyard. It may teach you something about your own backyard so you can fight harder. If you don't know nothing, if you don't know any better, then you won't do any better. So I'm just bringing attention to everyone, those that want to come in the replay, those that are they say in the bushes, listening but not saying anything. If you would like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. But what I want is I want everybody to pay attention to what's going on and find out what your elected officials are doing to benefit you, your community, your homeowner association. Some people got homeowner associations. Find out what they doing in your community. What are they doing for your complex? What are they doing to make it better for your homeowner association? Look, look up the Robert Ruler order. Get the bylaws. Go over them. Read. See, a lot of people sign up for the house, get all this stuff, don't pay attention to the bylaws, sign off on it, pay your homeowner association fee, and move on. You don't even care. Then when stuff start happening to you, then you're like, well, how they gonna do that? Because you won't pay attention to the bylaws. Dissect the bylaws. Read the bylaws. And in the same time you reading the bylaws, do some research. See if it's legal. What they doing. That's like my sister and them. I went to their meeting and they wanted to make me president of the housing association in their community because I was telling the president there, wait a minute, hold up, whoa. You got these people that you're paying to do the lawn care, shovel the snow, all this stuff. They don't have no right to conduct the election or run the board. The homeowner association, that's who the people are. They elected you to run the board. They don't run the board. They are contractors to do the maintenance work of the grounds. They have no say in what goes on with the board. And I went in and showed the bylaws where they don't have that. But if I hadn't read my sister bylaws and went to the meeting, they would been kept doing what they was doing. They was trying to tell them what to do to the homeowners association, to the homeowners. And I was like, oh no. You're not in the bylaws. You in the bylaws only to shovel the snow, trim the trees, deal with the landscaping, deal with what needs to be done on the outside of the homes. But as far as the homeowner association, that is the board by itself. It's you only funded through them from their homeowner association fees. So you have no rights to tell the president how to vote or what to vote on. And he was like, and I said, no. Show me in the bylaws where you have the right to tell the president of the homeowner association board what to vote on, how to vote, and who to vote for. You have no say in that. You only come there to tell us where our homeowner association fees are going. What are you doing with the money? Showing us where our money is going and what you're doing with it and how and what the balance is. Other than that, you have nothing else to do with the homeowner association at all. Exactly, Babe Solo. Reading is fundamental. A lot of people don't do research. A lot of people don't read. Me working in the government for 35 years, by the time I got finished working in the government, that's all I do is read. I read up on the laws. I read up on the bylaws. I read up on all the laws that goes on within my area. Now that's why I'm stepping back up because I'm like, wait a minute. I could use some of what I learned in the government to help them. So when I started talking to my tenant association, that's when they started going to attorney general. I said, go to the, if you're not getting any answers from the commissioners, go to the attorney general. Take all your documents and all the videos and show the attorney general what you're going through in our ward, in our complex. And the attorney general stepped in and helped us. He was new and he wanted to have his name out there to show that he's about the city. This is the time to catch them when they new, because they want to be their name known, show that they're doing what they need to do. And now that we've been on the news, this is an opportune time. And they say, okay, and look what's happening. We're getting assistance. We're getting help. And even though we're still fighting, but we're fighting now with the owners. We're not fighting with the city anymore. The city is fighting with us. So that's why I said it's time for us to start looking at our own elected officials that's over our communities and our livelihoods, and see what we can do. As you always say, election time coming over. You think it's a joke, but we can vote you the same way you got voted in. We can vote you out. Voting is very important. Very, very important. Even though I used to say, oh, they're going to do what they want to do. I don't know why I'm voting. And I had to think back. Wait a minute. What if I don't vote? And my vote might have been that one vote that they needed to go over the threshold. So that's why I vote every chance I get, local and national. I vote and I let my voice be heard. And I let my voice, and I say what I say and do what I do. And I refuse to let anybody shut me up. I refuse to let anybody let me back down. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to stand right. Eh, Exactly, Babe Solo. I'm going to use my mic. Babe Solo said also those elected fish would always want to vote, but then show nothing. They have done what they all about and what their agenda is. We have to step up and we have to do what we got to do. Miss Regina said we don't read like we used to as a country until something happens. Oh boy, then we read in everything. Take a second, read and show up to the meetings. Exactly. And that's what I've been doing. And like I said, I thank Dalton. I thank the township. I thank the people that I met in Dalton. Even though I'm not there with you, but I'm there in spirit and in heart and in soul. Because you all helped me learn to fight again. You all helped me to use my voice again. And I thank you all. I talk about you all the time. People are like, why you talk about that city and that town? Why do it benefit you? It benefited me a lot because it taught me something that I need to get back to. And that means voting and speaking my mind and standing up for what is right. And the problem is a lot of people now is not standing up for what is right. Exactly, Miss Regina. Dalton was just proof that anything can happen. Everything needs to watch and challenge. I said what I said. Thank you. Thank you so much. Great show, Foxy. Thank you so much. because it's time for us to stand up and look in our own backyards. Look at what's going on in our own community. Stand up, vote, let your voice be known. Let your, if you can't do it in your own community, do it on, if you're a content creator, let your voice be known. Let it be known somehow, but don't be silent. Silent means that you're complacent and you agree with what's going on. Don't no need to complain if you're not going to do anything about it. That's always been my philosophy. If you're not going to do anything about it, stop complaining. If you're not going to stand up for what is right, then sit down and shut up. And I mean, it seems harsh, but hey, the truth is the truth. If you're not going to stand up for what is right, then don't say nothing at all and stop complaining. I complain, but I'm gonna stand up for what is right too. I'm gonna complain because I'm mad, because I'm angry, because I don't have enough people to stand up with me. Right now, I'm standing on Flint's neck and I'm standing on Harvey's neck. I'm gonna stand on their neck until their neck break. Because somebody needs to know about how Harvey, that man, is doing. And it's been bad for a while. It's just that because of Tiffany and her being in the limelight for so long, and everybody's talking about what she was doing, and she was only doing it for attention. And that's the sad part. All of that was for attention. Now that she's not getting attention, you don't see her nowhere. Nowhere. She pop up here and there. But she's no longer getting attention. She's no longer in the limelight. I have heard people say that when they come to the meeting and she walks through the room, you say, "Hi, Tiffany." She say, "Hi." But just as soon as she sit down behind that, sit in that chair, and the camera people stop counting and showing that she's live, they say that's when the performance start. It's a whole different Tiffany. Now, if you notice, now that she done lost the election, remember when Bradley came and tried to talk, she asked, "Why are you here?" Now it's why is he here? Before she didn't care if he was there because he was on TV. Now it's like a reality show for her. Now that she done lost the election, she'll have no power. Now it's a problem for them to show her. So now she's staying out of the limelight. You know, so it's a problem. That was her problem. It was all for attention. She could care less about anybody but her pockets, her man, and her goons, and the limelight. She thought she was gonna be the next reality show. She thought Dalton will be and Township was gonna be her next reality show, and somebody gonna see her and want them on a reality show. Really? No. And now that she's quiet, everything's quiet in the township. Everything's going as planned. Dalton, everything's going as planned. Now, Harvey's scared now because now Harvey is going to be in the limelight. It's time for us to do the same thing. It's time for us to do the same thing to Harvey. It's the same way we content creators we need to do with Dalton. Also with Flint. Flint ain't getting out of the limelight either. Because man, if you go back and look at I think it's under official Flint City Council meetings. Go under their board meetings. Man, they so dysfunctional, it is terrible. It is terrible. They board meeting, they more so busy. Point of order, point of order, point of order. What's your point of order? Well, she said, point of order. I did not say, you did not hear me say that. Point of order. They got so much point of order that they ain't even taking care of business. They so busy personally attacking each other. That, to me, it's like a bunch of children in an elementary school. I said, well, I'm upset because you said that about me. And I'm upset because you said that about me. It's like kids. And y'all grown ups. And you're not dealing with the business at hand. I said what I said them alphabets saw her, FBI. Yeah, them alphabet boys, they still see her. Even though she thinks she's, in hiding, they can't find her. Let me explain something to you about the alphabet boys. If they want to find you, they will find you. Take my word for it. Even though you might say, well, what's taking them so long? Well, let me explain something to you. They they waited just for the right time. When you let your guard down, that's when they attack. While your guard is up, they're not going to bother you. They're just going to sit back and watch you go ahead and do what you do. Just keep doing what you're doing. We going to keep watching you. We're going to keep filming you. See, now she think that she ain't in the limelight no more. The alphabet boys are not going to bother her. Oh, they coming, boo-boo. Boo-boo kitty, they coming. Tiffany, boo-boo kitty, they are coming for you. I'm sad that that's going to happen, but you did it to yourself. I can't condone what you did. I just feel sorry for you that you're going through what you're going through. Bay Solo said, Foxy 2, keep up the amazing work on your channel. Peace, blessings to you in everything you do. The same with you, my queen. I say what I said, the same with you, my queen. Miss Regina, the same with you, my queen. You know, I just want to bring attention. I'm not going to be out here much longer. I just wanted to bring a little bit of the snipping of their live board meetings and let you see how dysfunctional and how things are not being done for the residents there. They got water issues. You're talking about everything else but the water issues. You're attacking one. People going up to the podium. They're fussing at you about he say, she say, I say, you say. Nobody's dealing with the business at hands to help that city, a town. I'm not sure if Flint is a city or a town. I don't know how they call themselves. And but it's not anything getting done. And that's the same thing it was done with Tiffany. Tiffany was such a distraction that nothing was getting done. Now that the distraction is gone, they're getting everything done. Dr. Liddell Lewis, now she's a distraction. She's attacking everybody on the board. They're attacking her back. She's coming at them about, they have called each other bees and everything on this panel. And it's pathetic. It's like I'm watching high school grown-ups, grown-ups in high school. You know how you had kids in high school? I don't like you because you said so-and-so. And I don't like you because you said so-and-so. And, and I'm going to get up and I'm just going to walk away from you because I'm mad with you. Well, I'm mad with you too. And I'm looking at this. What are you helping with the residents? How are you helping the people? Now y'all arguing over rent and the fees and all this. Okay, all right. This been going on for a while. This is in the budget. Let's talk about the things that really affect the budget. How, the revenue. How are you going to get out of the hole that you're in? If you are in the hole, what are you going to do or what you're going to do to bring the revenue in to get the budget where it needs to be? How you going to have a budget for your ward? What are you doing with the budget for your ward? That was the same question we was asking here. What is you doing now that we have a new commissioner? Things are going a little bit better in our ward. It's getting better. I remember the time that you didn't even come in this ward, Ward 7. That was a no-no. You better not, if you didn't know nobody or know somebody, you better not step foot in this ward. This was the worst ward in DC. Ward 7 and Ward 8 was the worst two wards in DC. Now Ward 8 is a little bad. Ward 4 is a little bad. Ward 7 has calmed down a lot compared to what it used to be. Anybody say east of the Anacostia River, it. You didn't get caught in the east of Anacostia River. That was a no-no. You might pop up, but you might not pop out. So you might pop in. Make sure you can pop back out. So so it's a lot better. I can go out here now, walk to the corner store and walk back and not have to worry about my life being threatened or gangs hanging on the corner. All of that's cleaned up. Thank you, Jesus. But there's still a lot of other things that need to be done because of the gangs and the stealing and the guns and the drugs that was in this area. We have a lot to clean up. We have a lot to build back up. So that's the thing is right now, Ward 7, we're trying to be adulting. We're coming together to try to build our community back up also. After we had other other commission commissioners running this ward that wasn't doing what they needed to do. But now that we have the commissioners that are, you know, the young man, Tyrone White, Tavon White, he was doing the best he could, and he got us at least got the hospital here. Now we have another commissioner, and she's fighting and she's bringing things to our ward. Thank God. But we went through a lot too. Take my word for it. This area was real bad. But thank God that now we all came together and fought for our ward, and now we're doing better. Even though I came in at the tail end, but I'm here now and my voice do matter. And I'm saying that. And again, Dalton United, Dalton, Illinois, Thornton Township. Thank you, all of you in those two areas. Thank you for teaching me what I need to do to stand up for my community. And you keep standing strong. Dalton United, keep standing strong. Thornton Township, keep standing strong. And I pop in on y'all meetings because you help me to learn more. Now that everything calmed down and I'm seeing how the wheels are turning, now I can help turn the same wheels here. So thank you again, all those in Dalton that I have met, talked with, content creators that I have talked with, and thank you so much. Babe Solo, all in the queue, Minion with Opinion, Cafe of Knowledge. That's just the name of few. Missy Sanders, No Apologies, Just Me, Dear Woke Christian, um, all the contact, Grace Levi, all of those that I have relationship with. I might not be in like I was before, but I'm still thankful to you all because of you showing us 4 years and talking about the 4 years and breaking it down and showing the media and being the boots on the ground and letting us see what was going on. I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna talk to my president of my tenant association, see if it's okay for me to go live and let you all see what goes on with our tenant association meetings. Let you see what we're going through, how we're fighting with our apartment complex. So next time we have a tenant association meeting, I'm gonna talk to my president first and see if it's okay for me to video so you all can see. And maybe y'all might have some advice from Dalton or the Thornton Township that can help us or any content creator that might be able to see the video and let me know what you could do for us or help us that I could bring attention to my tenant association meetings. So again, thank you, Dalton. Thank you. Babe Solo. I said what I said. Um, um, Sherry Britton, Nikita McLeod, Jason, all those that's in, that has, who else? I'm missing somebody. I know I'm missing somebody. Oh, Belcher, my girl, Belcher. All of those that I saw fighting for what was right and what was just. Um, Carmen from Thornton Township, Gonzalez, Stephanie, Vivian, the Roberts, the Tammy, all those that have fought for Dalton and Thornton Township that I have met throughout YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because of seeing you fight, because of you talking, the Roberts, Mr. Robert, thank you so much for I listened to you and I listened to how your letters were to that you sent out to to the mayor and the attorney general and everybody for help. I listened to your letters. I appreciate you and your wife. Vivian, fighting and standing up for what is right. Jason House, thank you so much, Jason, for standing up for your rights and standing up and standing strong. All the trustees that fought against Tiffany, thank you. All those that's newly elected now, that's sitting in those seats, thank you. Congratulations and thank you. Um, Napoleon Harris and your trustees in Thornton Township, thank you. Because now I see how we can come together. And I'm gonna suggest the same with my tenant association. And I know I feel like I'm rattling off over and over and over again. It's just the point that I'm just so excited that it has made a change in my life. And if it can do it with me, I hope it can do it with everybody else. Vote, please vote for your area. Take care of home, like Miss Regina say. Take care of home. Handle home first before you start handling everything else. You know, thank you again. Thank you. I said what I said for being in the chat and joining in and coming to my channel. Thank you so much. Babe Solo, thank you so much for coming in. Miss Regina, all those that say in the bushes, and all those that are doing that are going to view my replay. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And hopefully I have said something, or my show has said something that will help you to move forward in things that's happening in your community. I want to say good night. Thank you all. You all have been a blessing to me. I don't know what I would do without you to a certain degree. I know I got God, but He brought us together and God in my life. And with God in my life and God in your life, it brought us all together. So I just want us to continue to love one another, stick by one another, pray for one another. Until the next time that I come live, I want to say to all my people out there, peace. I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Good night.